Good day, everyone. My name is Shekhar. I hope you all are doing great. Today, I'm going to show a demonstration of the transactional monitoring system built in Google Appsheet. Now, Google Appsheet is a no-code platform and it's officially part of Google Cloud Services. Though we are showing the demonstration on Appsheet, but the similar solution can also be created with Office 365. But for today's demonstration purpose, we will only look at the Google App Sheet, which is part of Google Cloud Services. Now let's have a look at the overview of the structure, how it works, and then we will show it on the tool itself with the demo. Yeah. So let's get going. Now Google App Sheet automation, workflow automation for transaction monitoring. If I look at the comparison on traditional CRM tool that most of the organizations use for their monitoring, the key differences or key area that we need to look into is the data collation and extraction. So most of the time, either the MIS people or some quality lead will extract the data from the CRM tool, and they will need to correct and clean that data before they start building a report. Whereas if I look at the Google Cloud Service or Microsoft Cloud Services, the data model is pre-connected, so therefore no manual intervention is required. Another limitation that we see on the traditional CRM, the data, it gives a very less control on the input that we capture. Right? So most of the time it comes with either drop down or free text, whereas if I use Google Cloud Services, where I have a complete control over what the user is giving as an input, uh, it has multiple options like date, time, duration, number. Uh, there are certain drop-down fields that we can use, uh, and we can also create the settings for other field text as well. Notification for traditional CRM would be default email template or some other communication method. Uh, Whereas in the cloud services, we have fully customized automated email notification for audit. We can send an email notification for feedback. We can also send reminder for non-acknowledgement cases. Yep. And most importantly, reports. When it comes to reporting, like we discussed on the first step, that someone has to manually extract the data and then prepare the report. Most often and not, this is done on a daily basis or on a weekly basis. So, so the viewers or the operational POC who would rely on that data, they would need to wait for a day's time so that entire data gets populated, and then they wait for the reports to be published. Now, since the pre data model is connected with the cloud services, we have an automatic interactive dashboard readily available to view at any point of time. It gets updated on real-time basis, or maybe you will need to just refresh that report with a click of a button. Uh, so for Office 365, this can be done through Power BI. For Google Cloud Services, it is now Lucas Studio, which was previously known as Google Data Studio. So that's overall in short comparison. If I look at the process diagram, how it works is, yeah, associate will receive calls or make calls or do a chat, and then the auditor will submit sample audit based on their monitoring predefined form. AppSheet will automatically calculate the score. It will send feedback notification, and also stores the record either in Google Sheet or any shared location. And then we can use Lucas Studio to visualize the data in an interactive way. Which what it does is that the report is always available real time, which reduces the time for the operation people to look at the data and take immediate action to correct the performance or improve the performance. All right, here we go. So this is how the app looks like from the backend. We have a small screen how for the user interface. We can expand this version, and this is okay. Yeah, here we go. So this is how the auditor would see this. This view can obviously be customized. It shows us the latest date for that particular date, how many audit was performed, and who are those agents for each of one of those audit was performed. Yeah. Now to perform a new audit, all we have to do, we'll click on this new audit. Now the form is not extensive. Since this is a demo, I have just created a simplified version, but the platform have the capability of delivering much more complex form and calculations. Okay, so I'm going to use this ID, which is one of my ID, so that I can show you the email that gets triggered. For this, I will mention test001. Okay, let's give it an opening. So now if you see it is only once I score it off less than 100, then only the comments appear. Test. Okay, I'll mention as a test comment. Okay, let's give proving as 50%. Okay, solution at 50%. Next command. Communication, let's give 100%. Follow up, let's mark it as not applicable. This was not a compliance error. Okay, I will give all these scores. There we go. It automatically appears the agent name, supervisor name, location, and the score is already calculated. Feedback status by default it's pending because the score is less than 75. We have already put that condition here. If the score is less than 90, then it's going to be pending. If it is more than 90, it will become not applicable. We will mark it as completed once we share the feedback. The below parameters are only applicable when we are sharing the feedback. So we can save this audit. It takes a quick second to sync up the ad. Now, if you see on today's date, we have this particular audit, what we just did. We can close the loop from this section, or we can also track my feedback status from here. Here it shows the pending cases. It also shows us the completed cases. I have done 48 completed feedback, and there is 16 feedback which is pending. Now, if I click on that, it shows us the detailed view, okay, for each and every parameter in this code. Now, once we are done with the call listening session with that agent, we can go ahead and close that loop. It asks for a confirmation. Has the feedback been shared with the associate with call listening? And said yes. Comment. I will put those comments, action plan that needs to be captured, and then click on save. Okay. All right, so syncing is completed. Now, if you see the feedback status has been marked as completed. This is the feedback days. Today's these are the comments that we have mentioned. Now under pending, it was 16. Now it's 15 because this feedback has been closed. So if I see, yes, test001, was the call which is now showing under completed. Okay, now once that is done, let's quickly look at the audit notifications. Here we have, okay, so this is the notification that I have received. Okay, it says from quality team, a new audit submitted. This is the ID for that particular audit. This is a small summary. Again, this email can be customized as we want based on our requirement. We can also mention the audit link for the agent to acknowledge. Uh, it automatically generates a PDF file for the audit summary as well. And once we have done the feedback, it has also shown us the feedback status. This is what the feedback has been completed. And for clarification, the agent can reach out to supervisor or the auditor. And finally, this is the documented one with all our audit summary. Again, this template is also customizable as per our requirement. Okay, now all once we are done with this audit, this app would automatically store the data in the cloud server as well as in our Google Sheet. This Google Sheet basically works as the backend tool for the app as well as for our reporting purpose. So now, yes, this is the date when we have just audited this particular call, and it shows the text ID. This is how fully table format is there. Now, if we go to our dashboard, here we go. So this is our real-time dashboard looks like. We have some custom filter that we can use to slice the report as per our need. Also, if you see these graphs, these are also interactive, so I can choose or click on any particular bar, which will also filter out this report as per them. So for we have both the location, that's the overall score. It also shows the comparison between last month and last to last month. So whatever date range that we have selected, it's comparing the value based on previous period for that. Okay, if I only want to see for a particular week, I can click that particular week and the report will be filtered out according to that particular week. Then we have the compliance rate, and then what is the reason for compliance. These are the errors that we observed. That's the overall summary. If I go to performance by team, okay, these are the team leader wise data that we have. Now remember the previous filter that we applied that was on for that uh, particular page. This is completely separate. So we have one of the uh, team leaders, Anusha. If I select that her data, we will see what is the number of audit which was done for this period, what is the average CQ score, percentage of contact which met the target, and what is the compliance rate. We can also track their overall uh, week on week trending. There was no compliance error observed. Let's pick another team leader. Okay, give it a sec. Yeah, there we go. We have the compliance rate, so we will have the compliance reason as well. Now, finally, if we want to see for the associate wise performance, these are the associate, these are the number of audit which was performed. This is the record. So if I select this particular agent, this will also filter out the data for that individual. So yes, the data report, again, this report can be further customized as per our requirement. But for demo purpose, I think this gives a little overview what is the capability of this particular tool uh, and how we can perform multiple interaction on that report itself. Now this by default the data is refreshed uh, with every 15 minutes. But if I want to further refresh, I can come here and refresh the data. I can also download this particular uh, data into a report, into a PDF file as well. I can select all the pages. Uh, if I want to password protect the report, we can do it. Otherwise, we can click on download and it will save as a PDF download itself. We can also customize or schedule email delivery for this particular report. We can uh, choose the recipient and we can schedule a time where every day this data would be shared into a PDF format to all the stakeholders along with a PDF version. Okay, so this is how it would look like for the PDF data. Whatever filtration we had applied, it was applicable. So this makes easier for any one of us who wants to send that report to our reporters. All right. I hope you like the presentation. I hope you're quite interested or excited to adapt for the solution. At the early stage, what I mentioned, yes, this solution can also be created in Office 365 environment where we will need to use Power Automate as to replace Appsheet, and then we can use Power BI to done the reporting and replace Looker Studio. Thank you for your time. You have a lovely day ahead.